All right, how we doing, guys? This is obviously a few days after this episode was recorded. I just wanted to add this preference to say that, yeah, look, you can probably tell by the title. Don't deviate from your rules, no matter how good an opportunity seems. And oftentimes it's when I'm emotional. So I think you'll see in this example, winning trade probably should have been done for the day, but again, like because it wasn't the specific target that I'd set out for myself. This is my perfectionism coming into play. That it wasn't enough. We need to achieve that perfect outcome before we can call it a day. And I'm recognizing this in so many facets of my life. It's actually super damaging. It's okay to not achieve exactly what you needed to achieve as long as you're moving forward and you're making progress. That's great. When you start moving backwards and deviating from your plan and doing things that you know you shouldn't do, that's when you're sabotaging yourself and sabotaging your future. So I just wanted to put that as a bit of a preface into this episode. If you want a bit of a laugh, scroll to the last minute or so of the video. I've tried to leave it as unedited as possible. You can just see my natural reaction, and I hope that I can watch this again in the future and recognize that feeling, and for that reason not want to deviate from my plan once again. But it's all part of the journey. It's all part of the process. I'm super stoked to be able to take you guys with me on this. Thank you for all the support, for all the love, for all the encouragement. It really does mean a lot. And yeah, really excited for what God wants to use this channel for in the future. So please keep tuning in. Any feedback, always appreciated. And I'll see you on the next episode. Peace.
I was just thinking we might as well just jump straight into the next episode here while we've just finished wrapping up about the P&L for all the accounts. This is what I'm looking at. I've got my high time frame chart on the left-hand side, lower time frame on the right-hand side. Trying not to go lower than a 5 minute. I'm finding using the really micros, unless I'm trading with really heavy size and really in and out, adjusting stops, adjusting partials really quickly, there's not really too much point looking at the lower time frames. The good thing about the futures desk with the challenge I have right now is that I'm capped at 5 micro contracts on MNQ. So I can't trade any more than 5, which is brilliant, to be honest. It forces me to use the higher time frames a bit more from a 4-hour perspective, who've obviously been on a pretty big meltdown. My key levels that I'm watching, there was the hourly BC, which we popped off from yesterday. If we go to the hourly, shift across, at this tiny little BC in here, you can see price reacted almost to the T at that level. Didn't close too far below that. Spiked right back up. I tried to actually get in long in here, but I risked too much and blew some Apex accounts, just risking way too much size, which is a bit unfortunate. But previous daily low, hourly BC sitting in here. We did have this 4-hour BC, which was respected as well yesterday. So I wonder if we're going to come retry tapping in here. But basically on a M15, there's a few gaps that I can see. So we've got this tiny gap in here. So this tiny little pocket, I'll be looking to partial one off. So that's where we have this limit buy order right here, just before this little pocket here. And then shifting on the M15, we've got some liquidity resting down in here with some bisties resting around here. We've obviously got the 4-hour bisty, which we respected again right here. So around this level as well is of high interest. And then we do have this 4-hour bisty resting just below. So I might push this here, see if we can add into the trade as it's going our way quite nicely here. Get back up to a 5 micro position and just see how we go. But it's just working on my timing with the partials now. That's definitely something that I need a strategy for, because it's so important. It completely shifts where your entry is. And it's genuinely been the difference between a losing and a winning trade for me. It would have been an absolute monster if I just timed the pyramid entry a lot better. So I just need to work on that. For now, we're really steamrolling to the downside, which is good to see. Next partial spot probably going to be above this high right here, respecting this civvy is what I'd be aiming for. So I think that makes sense if we wanted to add in an extra 2 micros. But for now, we're looking at just under 100 up on the day. Started with a little bit of drawdown. I tried to go in long. I basically outlined a strategy that I'm working with now as well. That's why you see these blue lines on the chart. We timed the entry really well today. Basically, I come to the market at key times. My key times that I work really well are 7 a.m. This is all New York time, by the way. 7 a.m., 8:30, 9:30, 4 a.m. Those are really like the high probability times. And if you want to do like a 10-10 reversal, 10-10 works as well. I'm based in Australia. I think I'm about 14 hours ahead. So add 12 hours and then add 2 hours, and that's the time for me. So if it's 7 a.m., it's 9 p.m. for me. So if it's 10 a.m., it's literally midnight where I'm at. So I try not to trade the 10-10 reversals anymore. It used to work really well just because there's a lot of volatility, but it's just hooks my next day. I'm tired and I still come to the charts, and that's when I'm blowing accounts. So just figured it doesn't work for me, and that's fine if I was based in the US or somewhere where the time zone wasn't as hectic, but it is what it is. Basically, going back to the strategy, what I'm doing is arriving at that key time, so 7, which is 9 p.m. for me, which isn't too late. I can make that work. We map out the 15-minute candle at the time of interest. So if I'm arriving at 7, it's going to be that 7 o'clock candle, the 15-minute. Or if I'm coming in at 8:30, 9:30, it's the 9:30 candle. I wait for the 15-minute to close so we can see it's 7 here. I mark the high and then I mark the low. I've implemented this from Scarface trades as well. It's really been working well for me. Great. Just going to adjust my stops here. So pretty much at break even if this wants to come back on me. I don't think we'll let it go that far. I'm contemplating seeing how we react to this. If we start pushing up rapidly, we take off the trade and then look to do the same entry at either 8:30 or 9:30. That's the beautiful thing about this. You just wait for the time, map this out, and you're good to go. So again, high, low, we mapped it out. Then we shift into a 5-minute chart. And I'm basically just waiting to see which side we close above or below on a 5-minute chart, because that's going to indicate that we've actually got momentum pushing away from that 15-minute range. So in this case, we had the M5 closure of this candle. So this is a bit too shallow for me. Like we're literally right on the point. Sometimes what can happen is you get like a bit of a liquidity grab. You take the 15-minute lower high and then you quickly reverse in the other direction. So I like for a really solid close, and we get this on this candle right here. And so what I do is I put my stop loss 3 candles behind the one that closed either above or below. So we count it, include it, 1, 2, 3. My stop loss would be at the highest point of the 3 candles. So even though this one's lower than the second candle, the stop loss is going to be here on this candle. We get our short position tool and we're going in right at the 15-minute entry point. So where that high or low was created on the M15, we take our stop here, and I'm literally just aiming for a 2.5R with $350 risk on the table. Now, if I put my stop here for my entry, I know it's 2, but you can just multiply that again. That would be like 128. Add half of this to get another 1 micro. So what? 128 plus 32, 162 or something like that. I don't know. Quick math not there, but you can see it's obviously going to be less than that 350, and I can't risk more than that. Hence why I've had to take my final TP a lot further. But if I was just trading normally with the slides that I could do, literally this would be the trade and I'd be in and out and I'm done. You can see price never comes back to this high. We break down here, we put our limit order, price comes up, and then it just folds straight to the downside. So that would have been an A+ trade if we were able to maximize the total amount. This is why I love the futures desk. I've just logged my trade. So the Scarface trade short, you can see that when I took the loss, it was a long reversal play I was trying, didn't work out. I took a trade this morning in Asia. It actually was the same strategy. I've had it all mapped out at 10 o'clock. So if we come for Asia, we have this here at 10 o'clock candle right here. We closed below. So I went in for a short, which I did get tapped into. Price came up here. We went lower, but we just wicked out this low and then reversed back up. I had my alerts. I was actually playing basketball while this happened, and my alert was a little bit lower because I think there was an FEG a little bit lower. I'm not sure if it was here or here that I had marked to take some partials and adjust, but I just had a notification that my stop loss got hit, and I looked at the chart and I was like, reversed on me. So Asia isn't as reliable. If I was at the charts, obviously would have been like moving to break even and things like that. It's just one of those cases where it is what it is, but we're at this 15-minute BISI now. So I'm just going to be watching what price wants to do here. We're almost at $200 up on the day, which is beautiful. I'll adjust the steps. Once again, once I'm in a position like this, I don't give back my profits. That's the really good thing about trading with Apex and Take Profit Trader. I hated trailing drawdown, but it's actually made me a better trader to not give up profits. So A strategy that's been working really well for me is doing the same three, take the candle that we're on, 1, 2, 3. I'm adjusting my stop every 3 candles. So once a new 5 minutes made, we're going to push the stop to this candle here. And so we're constantly locking in, and if it's trending down, you never get stopped out, but you're protecting at least what's on the table. Right now, if we get stopped out, we're up 40 minus fees, probably about $40. I can't complain. Heck, especially we were around 200 and something dollars in drawdown today to bring it back up 44. And again, we just wait for our 9:30 play and we run it again. So it's really mechanical. It takes the emotion out of my trading. I actually have a plan that I'm looking for now. Whereas before it was just going off feel and yeah, which wasn't ideal. This strategy definitely loses as well. It's not like every single trade is green. And I think that's important to recognize. But if you've got a decent risk to reward, you're coming at the right times, you've got your edge, you sort of know where the market's going. That's why I like having the higher time frame on the left-hand side, smaller time frame on the right-hand side. So we're in alignment. More than likely, it does look like previous daily lows are going to be ran for. Just going by the momentum that we've seen the past few days. From Monday, we have been trending lower, lower, lower. I'm hoping for Thursday we spill even lower. I've got some higher time frame spots marked here. And really, I'm only looking from like the 4-hour above now for my BISIs and cities, because on a lower time frame, I just find that they get disrespected way too easily. But like a 4-hour, a daily, a monthly BISI, price usually respects those a lot more. Nice that we're getting some good continuation to the downside. I'm seeing what the next partial is. Looking about here, I've got 2 positions on. We're aiming for about 850. So if we go 900, where's 900? That's final TP for the day. That's right near proof. I'd rather honestly just look to be taking partials and then look to maybe re-enter. I don't think we continue to fall all the way down here, but we'll just wait and see what the market wants to do for the time being. New 5-minute candle has just formed. So again, using the 1, 2, 3 rule, stops adjusted here. The beautiful thing is you're just scaling in more profit each time. Forget about this figure, like this doesn't exist. Focusing on this figure is way more important. Just anticipating that this could come all the way back at any moment. Like nothing is guaranteed when you're trading. Always continue to lock in your profits, whether that's taking partials or adjusting. I love trailing because by partialing, you're sort of limiting yourself. At least with a trail stock, if it comes back, the market is reversing at some point. Both work. It just depends on your psychology. Tom Hugard says, like if you're a person that hates seeing profit taken away, which was me before, but I've realized that's just greed in me that I'm trying to work on, then take partials. At that point, you're at least profiting the max that you can at each point. And if you're trailing drawdown like with Apex and Take Profit Trader, highly recommend. That's the best way to handle those accounts. The issue with using this strategy is, especially if you've got trailing drawdown, if this wants to come all the way back here, depending on how much size you've got, that could potentially liquidate you based on that trailing threshold. I love accounts that don't allow for that. And I think reflecting on the P&L, coming back to here real quick, like Apex, Take Profit Trader, all of these accounts, I've spent a fair bit and got nothing back from them. My only 2 props that I've got payouts from are Top Step and My Fund of Futures, but with the strategy, this has been a pretty recent strategy as well. Probably in the last, not even a month, we've been running with it and it's really been working quite nicely. Hoping that we can implement this. And if we can get all of these accounts to some point, I'm using TradeSync right now to copy across the trades. The sky is really the limit when it comes to the income that could be coming in. And that's really exciting and also kind of scary to think about, and just making sure that it doesn't get to my head is really important there too. But yeah, we're just going to let the trade continue to do what it's doing. 8:30, I'm just going to be mindful of as well. I might consider either like adjusting stops really, really tightly or taking a partial, just because there's going to be more than likely a lot of volatility that's introduced into the marketplace around that time. So we're going to keep our eyes peeled and see what we get. So yeah, I'll come back around 8:30. Okay, so another M5 candle was code. So the reason that I don't adjust, because with this one, there would be 1, 2, 3, and my stops would be literally at this high right here. I don't adjust them when it's a candle of the opposing direction. It's more than likely it's going to be a bit of a pullback. More than likely we're anticipating up to this zone and then it continues to floor. So if I put my stop here, we're anticipating it's running up here and then it continues flooring, I've just capped myself. Whereas if we are pushing above this high, even if it's a liquidity sweep, I'm all right with that. But I'd rather give myself the opportunity that we're coming up into this civvy to continue lower. So yeah, I think I'm still refining this part on the trailing and I'm contemplating whether it's just like the same color. So if we're still bearish, it's another bearish candle. Even if we don't break the low, still adjust. Or whether we have to actually push past the previous candle's low for it to warrant. So say we close bearish here, but we have our low right here, we still wouldn't count this candle. It'd still go from this 1, 2, 3, because that's the lowest point. So I'm still like tossing and turning on which one works. I'm forward testing it. So it's cool. We will get to figure that out together. But again, if I had had my stops right here, I think we would get taken out here to potentially run for this civvy. And then if we're pushing up higher and higher, I'm happy for us to get taken out here. But yeah, if we take out this low, then it will be this 1, 2, 3. And our candle is still going to be at the same stop here. So let's wait and see. We've got about 3 minutes until 8:30. I'm hoping that we just open and just absolutely melt to the downside. I'm just checking where we're at in relation to everything. So we've taken out Asian lows. We've closed pretty convincingly below them. Asia looks to be high of day today. I was targeting highs previously on that long play because we had all of these resting equal highs. At one point, we'll definitely come back and run for these highs. Maybe it's 8:30 open that pushes us right up there, takes out these highs, and then we continue to melt lower. But based on what we're seeing, especially on a higher time frame, like looking at the hourly, it makes sense that we're going to still continue on to the downside, take our previous daily low. Let's wait and see. About 30 seconds away from 8:30 open. I've just realized on M15, we are right at this civvy. So we could potentially floor right up into here and then look to push lower, which would suck. But hey, let's not be greedy. Let's just be happy that we walk away green from being red and see what happens. All right. 8:30 open here. More than likely. Let's have a look. Pushing. To see how far we'll push. Ideally, we'd like stops to be up here, to be honest. But if we're just going to rip straight through, then we'd rather just take our profit a little bit earlier than giving more back to the market. Check the lower time frames here, just straight off the opening. See what the main sentiment is. Yeah, VWAP, like there's so many reasons for us to push higher, especially because 8:30 usually moves away from the overall trend. A bit of a liquidity grab, and then 9:30 actually get the flow on the real direction. But I do like that we've spilled a lot lower. Like there's obviously some pretty significant orders coming into the downside right off the bat. Just need to see if there's follow through or whether buyers want to run this higher a little bit, which it does look like they want to do, yeah. Yeah, wouldn't be surprised. VWAP, 15 minutes CB, lots of reasons for us to go high here right off the rip. But again, hoping we just spill to the downside. Okay, time frames. Looking decent on the 2 minute, the M2. Then again, if we are strongly moving to the downside, I think if we don't get any higher than this point that we're at right now, more than likely we're just going to fold to the downside. But if we push up, we're either going to react off this city or we're actually going to explode up and go for these equal highs. I'm going to mark this here. Put it in purple. Equal high. Definitely a strong target point right here. I like how the M2 closed. We took out the highs here, body's still closing below. On the 30-second, does look like we're pushing back up. More than likely to fill this at a bare minimum. There we go. Pretty much at that 5-minute civvy right now, I would imagine. Yeah. Just watch the M15. It's a really bad spot to have it, but if we just blast straight through here, it might have been a good spot, especially because we've respected this BISI on an M15 as well. So we'll just sit on our hands for the time being. Decent trade, regardless, to be honest. Check the copy traded account. Unfortunately, we lost a little bit more, but that's okay. Yeah, decent reactions. And I guess it would depend on how this hourly closes. If we respect this BISI again right here, yeah, we could actually be just running straight for previous daily high instead. Because the other big tell is if looking on a 4-hour, this reaction right here is crazy. Respecting this 4-hour BISI, this massive tail, we'll just have to wait and see. This is what I'm learning as well, like just sit on your hands. After you're out of a trade, just sit and see what the market wants to do. There's no point jumping back in and trying to pick a direction that we don't really know what's going on right now. We just had open. You could again run the 15-minute straight here as well. More than likely there's going to be our low. I'm going to anticipate this is our high. I'll get rid of these orders. This is our range for the time being. We're going to wait for this candle to close and see what happens. I do like us going for this equal highs at a bare minimum. I think we've got a lot of reason to push higher, especially if we respect this within the next 9 minutes. So let's wait and see. All right. From what we're seeing here, I do think previous daily low might remain the target. The reason for that is watching the volume charts here now. If we shift to a 3-minute, you can see the most volume that we've seen in the last 5 hours. This candle right here, and it's a reversal candle, taking out liquidity and closing bearish, engulfing the previous candle as well. And then majority of the volume has been to the downside, bearish. We had the 8:30 open, which was this candle, which obviously is going to have a bit of volume. And then we've just had the second highest volume in the next 3 minutes. But again, it's respecting this SIBI and it's closing here. And the next candle literally engulfs it to the downside. So I'm still waiting 5 minutes for this 15-minute range to finish forming. But looks like we're still respecting this point. Our stop was literally right here. Trying not to be ungrateful. Like we still walked away profit. This could have absolutely ripped past us and gone for equal highs and we would have been at a loss. So it's risk management 101. It is what it is. And again, just using the 3 candle strat. But probably should have gone with this one here, even though we got taken out early. We'll wait for the next 5 minutes or so. I'm anticipating we're going to push lower. There is our 15-minute range completed. A bit frustrating that we did respect this SIBI as we anticipated. More than likely, I think we're going to continue to the downside here, just based on the volume and everything we discussed before. I am contemplating potentially just running an entry in here. I think we have the position to do so. So I'm just going to see if there's a better entry spot, see if we can get it on a pullback or whether this thing just wants to go. I think it's just going to floor without us here. Just going to be patient, see if we can get back into at least like this 30-second. Looks like we might get filled here. It's not really the strategy. I should be waiting for a 5-minute closure above or below. But again, just based on volume, based on the fact that we're already in the trade before, it was just running to play on what we already had in motion. I'm just wondering whether I go full gung-ho with the 5 or buzz down a little bit to start off with. I think the way that we're reacting here, 5 makes sense. We're still going to keep our position right here. Wait for a pullback, never chase. Even if price looks like it's running away without you, more than likely 9 times out of 10, it's going to come back. So just be patient, wait for your entry. check on the other time frames. Yeah, nice. Just gonna be patient here. I think we'll get a few. This leads up quite nicely. If 8:30 is a nothing burger, we don't do too much. More than likely 9:30 is going to carry on the momentum in the direction we're going. I like that we haven't spiked up and enticed a lot of buyers to get into the marketplace here. Sellers still seem to be in control. More than likely 9:30. I don't think the manipulation is like lower at 8:30 and then we're bouncing up at 9:30. I could be wrong, but more than likely I think previous daily low now seems a really high probability target. So got everything where it needs to be. Got our limit orders in place. If we just floor and close below here, then we'll just shift our entry position a little bit lower. Would be nice if we didn't think about it and went straight in before we went down. But again, just going to be patient and let the trade come to us. Had a bit of a push lower on a 30. Looks like we're rebounding just a little bit. Having come in. More than likely just going to put stops here. If we're pushing above here, it's very unlikely we're going to rest in here and then continue lower. I think we're actually going to push higher. So I'll just draw a fib just to make sure that it's not at a key level. Okay, 62% is around here. So maybe stops just above this candle. We'll see. Yeah, hoping to get filled here. Check up 2 minute. Yeah, if not this candle, the next one, we should get filled. Nice push. Might be on this candle. A tip, don't put your limit orders directly on the point. Going just a little bit under, a little bit over, always ensures that you're going to get filled. Even my spot here might be a little bit too tight. We'll just take it from the high where it's at right now, just a little bit above. I think I got a little bit greedy here. We got a bit too greedy. That's okay. Bit too greedy. Expecting now we just floor to the downside from here. As we've already come up, tapped into this area, we should now just continue our journey to the downside. So where do we have our stops in play? Gonna go here. Check out M5. Yeah, that's fine there. And for our 850 target, we're needing about 780. Just look to see if we can still take some partials along the way. I don't mind this spot. It's above the previous daily low. We've got some liquidity here, which we might be spilling for. Yeah, I don't mind this trade. Decent risk to reward as well, if you map this out. Yeah, so pretty much a 1 to 3. Just stay in the 5 minute on the M5. Less noise. And hopefully if we get a closure below this line as well, it's just going to act as further confluence. Probably didn't need to go as heavy with the 5 straight away. My reasoning for that is because if we go 5 here, it's obviously going to be a better spot than if we had gone 3. Adding another 2 in here would have brought our entry down. We still have 5, but our entry is going to be a lot lower. That's my reasoning behind getting in pretty early here. The previous winners just help give us a bit of a cushion, so we're obviously not taking a full 250 loss if that is the case. If we do take a loss here, I'm just going to wait for 9:30, run the strategy one more time, and if 9:30 doesn't work, just call it, even if it's a losing day. We've run the strategy, we've run our play, and that's all we can ask for. The M3 is looking pretty positive here, just based on that previous candle. 1 minute's looking pretty decent as well. Just got to see what the hourly wants to do for now. Still looking pretty bearish. So again, main target is the previous daily low here. Would be super unfortunate if 9:30 just sparks us to take these equal highs, but maybe we run that at a later date. It's tiny, like little volume imbalance in here. I'm not sure if that actually really is one or not. I don't know if price might want to sort of dawdle if it hits there, but for now, on an M5 as well, it does look like we are pushing to the downside. Good to see. No closure below this 15-minute range though. So we'll just wait. We'd be expecting that we close below this blue line, continue to the downside. A little bit of a pushback for the hourly closure here. This is where we're at. Hopefully we just continue spilling from here. Decent start. Just need to get through all of this chop. So give us some follow through now. Just checking all my time frames as we're going. But I'd ideally like to just see a big bunch of volume coming in now for sellers to recognize that we've still got the momentum here. Again, Empire closure below this blue line is really going to cement it for us. Let's just be patient, wait and see. This isn't looking ideal now. We've had the M5 push lower. Sometimes you can get this where it just wicks the low, doesn't close below. And the fact that we've got the body closing right up here does look like it's engulfing. Probably should just take myself out here. There's a bit of hesitancy based on how the previous hour closed, but again, we could be coming up to fill this before actually spilling lower. So I've just got to be mindful, to be honest. I think stops are in a decent spot where we had them originally planned. If we're taken out here, more than likely we're going to push a little bit higher. At that point, I'll just mark out where that hourly CV is. So it's just below that M15 range, which we pointed out. So I'll mark this in red. At that point right there. Okay, we're in some drawdown now. Looking at the M5, we've gone up to this point here. If we close above, that's going to warrant us getting out a little bit early. Might be going for the hourly CB before continuing lower. So yeah, should have waited for the strategy. Should have waited for that closure below before jumping in. So that's on me. Let's just wait and see what we get in the next minute. All right, stopped out. So back down 179 on the day. Far out. It's a bit frustrating. Just getting in a bit too early. All right, so approaching 9:30. Open here. Pretty much at the hourly CB right now. The hourly. See whether we want to invert. It probably doesn't make much sense that we push higher. I mean, we do have this 4-hour CB, to be fair, we could reach for. So I will just mark that out as well. More than likely it's going to be around here, I'd say. Going to anticipate it's about there. Yeah, let's check. A little bit lower. So in this region here. So yeah, if we push higher, I'm still anticipating that we go lower from here, just based on the fact that we've actually inverted this BC here now. Pretty shallow, but we'll see what happens. View up resting here as well. Oh, nice build to the downside. Just wait for the closures. Sellers stepping in for sure. Right at the hourly CV. Wow. Hectic. We can come back up for re-entry. Try getting our view up here if we can be afforded it. I should have had a limit order waiting, but that's okay. Let's see how much further we're gonna push up. Whoa, hectic. Yeah. We've got 3 micro position here. Don't want to get liquidated too quickly. See if we can push back up to VWAP on a 30. Here's our push. We're going to enter in here. Stops at the high. If we can close towards the low, we're going to add in our 2 positions. I probably should have done this before rather than going all gung-ho heavy, but that's all right. What's that going to be? 1,030 roughly. Just next to previous daily low. We'll see if we can add into our position here. Wild reaction off that CV. All right, this is looking pretty good. Just looking for a closure, really, ideally below where we're at right now before we look to add in. Just want to make sure we're definitely moving to the downside here. Pushing back up. Make sure we're above previous high here. There's our push up. Man. Far out. Mm. Yay, yay.